Hi Scorpio, this is your forecast for the month of September 2016. This is a general reading for Scorpio Sun, Scorpio Rising, or Scorpio Moon. If you have a different rising or moon sign, you might find watching those videos helpful or more informative for you. Please remember that these are general readings, and so they may not apply to everyone. If you would like a reading that is specific to you, please visit my website at thealchemistastrologer.com, provided on the link at the upper corner. If you have visited the site before, you'll need to clear your browser's cache for the schedule button to function properly. So for you, Scorpio, the first week of September begins with something new. So perhaps you're making a fresh start in some area of your life. Maybe there is a new opportunity that arrives, or you're having to make an important decision, or perhaps something that is very important yet unexpected has occurred. And it may be because it's surprising. You may not have the experience yet to deal with what is occurring. This is a novel experience, but many of you have decided that this is time for a change. Perhaps you want some freedom, and maybe you're entering a new phase of life. So you could be taking a risk, and maybe you're trusting in a higher power, or you're trusting in faith that everything will turn out the way that you hope. So even if you hadn't planned on it, this is a week where some new chapter in your life opens up. And so the more you are willing to, address issues head on, the greater you stand to gain. Although you should be cautious, because this is a card that urges you to have common sense. So this is a week where you are ready and you're willing to take on more responsibility. You realize that it's up to you to make yourself happy and to create the kind of life that you're looking for. So this could be a week where you begin a new job, or maybe you're looking for a new job, or some of you may be moving, or you're making some changes around you. Maybe you're beginning a study course, or ending something, or starting or ending a relationship. But you're going to experience something new, and you're going to have a new sense of confidence because of it. Some of you may be traveling or dealing with people at a distance, or maybe you're meeting some new people in the near future. Maybe you're dealing with children or young people. But it should be very easy now, whatever you have in mind, for you to put your new plans in motion. And you can network and meet people and introduce yourself and renew old acquaintances if need be. Make connections with people whose professional standing or even political standing can open some doors for you. Now, for others of you, maybe you are being rash and impulsive and not considering everything, in which case you could be fooling yourself. Or maybe you're trying to impress the wrong people, or you're trying to save the wrong people. But this week, be careful that you don't let your impatience or your over-optimism get the best of you. You could be on such a mission for your own personal gain or your own achievement that you lose touch with reality, and it can make you also maybe a little bit insensitive to the needs and the feelings of other people. So this week, you need to be very careful, cautious, take a risk, jump out there, make a move, but use your common sense. Now, the second week of September, you have the Knight of Swords. So perhaps you're coming in contact with an air person, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, male or female, or maybe just someone who carries that energy, or the situation does. But this Knight of Swords is someone who is very determined to get what he wants. This person would not be likely to take no for an answer. Now, some of you, this could be someone that's giving you some professional advice. You may be dealing with a lawyer or law enforcement, or somebody that has some kind of intellectual occupation. But this is somebody who can be apt to be protective, whether that's of a person or a cause. But because this is also a sword, which is challenging, this could also be someone who involves you in a conflict. And so maybe either you or someone else, maybe you're ruthless in pursuing whatever it is you hope to achieve. Maybe there's some trouble this week, or you're acting rashly, or someone else is, or perhaps you're being impatient or pushy. This could be a week where there's some kind of confrontation or disagreement, or maybe you just don't have focus on anything. If the prior week you were stepping out into something that you didn't understand, and maybe without considering, maybe, this is a lack of focus. Now, some of you could be getting some unsolicited advice from someone, and maybe you're dealing with violence or bullying in some way, or some bad judgment. For those of you some of you, your connections, they're strong, but for whatever the case, they're out of sync. When you're ready to connect, they're tied up, and vice versa. But others of you, you may suddenly get involved with somebody, take something to the next level, because this can be a rush to judgment. Maybe you're ready to make a move. Now, again, if you're having difficulties, maybe it's going to be challenging for you to end a relationship. And maybe you end up, again, in some nasty quarrels. But you could be researching, you could be dealing with communication issues, travel issues, some kind of planning. But this card urges you to choose your battles wisely. Now, the third week you have the Magician. So you could be dealing, again, with important male figures. Or maybe you're dealing with someone who has some kind of special knowledge. So again, maybe a lawyer or somebody with some kind of technical expertise, a medical specialist, perhaps a surgeon, maybe someone who can use tools. But this says that this week, you have the power that you need. You have all of the resources. You can envision something, visualize it, and manifest it on the physical plane. So this gives you problem-solving ability, the ability to make decisions, confidence in yourself, and creative power. So this week you're very determined, and you realize that it's up to you. So you're taking the initiative, and this is going to help you help yourself. So this is a card where it all comes down to your personal will and how you apply that, either constructively or in a way that works against your progress. But many of you will be very determined, as I said, to move ahead. And it's likely that you're going to receive some type of recognition or some type of reward for your efforts or your services this week. Now, be careful that because you are approaching that success, that doesn't make you nervous, that it doesn't make you overthink a situation or begin to have fear that, you've arrived and now it's all going to suddenly disappear. Wherever you are, you've earned it. Maintain that sense of confidence and self-determination, because this is a week where your focused energy is going to bring you to that goal that you hope to make. Now, for others of you, be careful, again, that you're not acting rashly, quickly, without due process, becoming impatient or being aggravated or ill-tempered, because this is actually going to work against you. And beware of being self-involved and everything directed toward your own personal interests without having any regard for other people, their opinions, their advice, or their assistance. But this is a very strong week where it's all about you and your abilities. And you have all of the resources that you need at your disposal if you should so choose to use those. Now, the third week, you have the Three of Cups. And so perhaps you achieved what you were trying to do, and now there's cause for celebration. You feel joyful. You have reaped the reward for your efforts, and there's a sense of abundance. You've made some kind of great achievement. For others of you, this is going to be a very social week. Now, maybe you're getting married or you're going to a wedding. Maybe there's some kind of social engagement. And for many of you, this is just another indication that you've reached this new plateau. You have a new lifestyle. But this week you'll have plenty of time to socialize, share your feelings with others. In fact, it's going to be a week that could be full of a lot of interactions with other people and a lot of contact with gossip. Although amidst that information and the gossip, you're going to find some of it is very pertinent and important to you. So you're going to have lots of opportunities to express and discuss your feelings with other people. This is going to make it easier for you because you're sharing and putting things out there. You'll be able to prevent any misunderstandings that could occur, and you're also going to connect with people that have good information for you, people that are in the know, and they're willing to share this information with you. But also, again, another warning about rushing and timing. Make sure that you check your timing and you check your facts before you either believe something or disbelieve something, especially if your emotions are involved, because someone around you, close to you, connected to you, could be distorting the facts. Maybe they're embellishing the truth, or maybe they divulge a secret that should have been, kept under a lid. And your imagination could run away with you this week, where you believe that people are either working against you, or that they're fighting over you, or you're so caught up in another person that you think that they're the cause of your problems or that they're the answer to your problems. So there are a lot of emotions flowing this week for you, and a lot of exchanges with other people. Now, again, maybe, you're taking this risk, you're stepping out there, something new has occurred, and maybe you realize it's time for you to act, or you're starting something, or good timing is an issue, and you realize that you need to take the initiative. Now, again, the second week you could be in disputes with other people. There may be some hidden aspects to a situation, or even to yourself, that you're grappling with. Maybe you have some fears or some illusions, or maybe you actually need to voice what's going on inside of you, and you need to acknowledge those fears. This may have to do with something from the past, perhaps an important male figure that you've connected to. This could be some memories in connection to that person, or some past influences, and maybe you're having difficulty moving on. So some of you, maybe you're sharing your feelings with people at a distance, or you're doing something new. Maybe this is in the area of healing, and so you are perhaps doing some kind of intellectual pursuit with regard to that, or maybe you're getting together with like-minded people, and there are some collaborative efforts or partnerships taking place, or you realize that you need to do some more socializing. Now, some of you, maybe you're going on a date this week. Maybe this is someone from your past, and this is, you decided to take a risk, take a leap of faith. Maybe you heard from this person and you're going to go out on this date. For others of you, maybe you, again, work in some field of expertise, whether that's healing or technical, and you're putting yourself out there. Maybe you're connecting, networking to get information, trying to find out, put your, finger on the pulse of things. But the underlying energy is this Queen of Pentacles. And so this is earth energy. This is Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo. So perhaps this is a male or female. Maybe this is someone carrying the personality traits of this queen or the situation. But this is a month where you could be very focused on taking a sensible approach, where you're trying to get organized. You are focused on creating whatever gives you a sense of security, whether that's a beautiful home or an environment, or managing your money in a good way, or nurturing your own physical health or your well-being. Maybe, success in business. But this is a week where, a month where, if you have contact with someone like this person could be very protective or nurturing. This is somebody who's very earthy. Now, in the negative, if you're dealing with the shadow side of this queen, this is someone who's fearful, and maybe somebody who's giving and getting very little in return, and maybe you feel that way, or you're dealing with someone like that. This could be someone who neglects their responsibilities, or maybe they're extravagant, or they're not using common sense, or perhaps they feel a sense of entitlement. Maybe they're seeking money from others or status in connection to others. But for many of you, this is going to be a month where you feel more secure if you're in a relationship about taking it to the next level, whether that's starting over or whether it's with someone from your past or someone new. So again, you could be connecting with someone from your past, going out, sharing good times, reconnecting. And if this is so, it could be very easy for the two of you to actually be very interested in one another, to retain that interest between you. Now, again, you were urged about communication and doing the unexpected, and maybe being rash, impulsive, or impetuous. And so this could be a month where you need to be careful about not speaking out of turn, or making decisions for people without consulting them first, because this could create a little bit of friction for you in your relationships. But generally, this is an energy where there's a need for grounding, a stabilizing effect. This is somebody that is very capable of holding down their career while raising a family. They're a hard worker, and your situation may connect to traditional family values. Maybe some of you are indeed, expecting a child, or, you're starting a new business, or trying to get a promotion, or maybe some circumstances have occurred, positively or negatively, that have forced you to look at your sense of security and move in another direction. So you may have a spiritual awakening of some sort, or you may realize that there is very much so a need for grounding. But this is going to be a month where your rationalization is going to be challenged. And the situations and their outcomes will very much so depend on how well you absorb what is happening and how well you react to it. What's happening to you as well as to the people around you. Okay, Scorpio, I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I would greatly appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and kind comments. For those of you who have already offered your support, please know that I am eternally grateful. Have a spectacular September, and I look forward to speaking with you next month.